What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Now today we're going to be talking about the first mention of diabetes in the history of mankind. Full disclaimer, I did actually shoot this video yesterday. I actually just read everything off my phone, and to be honest, I feel like they don't really add any character to the video. So right now I'm just going to look at the earliest points that it was mentioned, and we're just going to talk about that. So let's get into it. Sorry, almost forgot to tell you that I do also have a video coming up where you see me curling 100-pound barbells. And the reason why I curled that much weight was because I wanted to see if I still got the strength, because I haven't did that much weight since last year. And as you see, I did get smaller than what I used to be. So I was hoping that the strength didn't leave me as well, and it haven't. And I'm really happy that I was able to curl that weight, because that's an achievement. That's a personal achievement. Now I can get back to where before I actually curled 135 once as my heaviest bicep curl ever. And I want to get back to that point of strength. And I know it's going to take some time, but I'm actually looking forward to it. Now let's get into the video. Okay guys, as you saw, I just smashed that girl by 2 reps. Like I said, I haven't did that in a long time. It felt good, because I didn't think at first I really had the strength to do it, because I tried this actually not too long, probably like a month or so ago, and I couldn't curl it. But I'm actually excited that I did it now. I'm actually excited I got on video so you guys can see. And just don't give up, just don't say you can't do anything until you try it, because when you do, you're pretty much saying that you're giving up. You're saying you can't do it, even though you never really attempted to do it. So thanks guys for checking that out. Okay guys, so the earliest point in history that diabetes was mentioned was 1550 BC. An Egyptian Piraeus mentions a rare disease that causes the patient to lose weight rapidly and urinate frequently. This is thought to be the first reference to diabetes. 1500 BC, ancient Egypt. This was before Christianity was found. This is back during the ancient days of the ancient Egyptian gods like Ra, like Anubis. This is back during the day of King Tut. This is back when Egypt was an empire, one of the mightiest empires in the world at its time. So for this disease, or at least the symptoms of this disease, to be referenced so far back, it shows you how advanced medicine was even at that time. It shows that doctors and physicians and healers at the time really took time to study the body, the functions of the body. What happened if in certain symptoms of the body that come to show when you get sick, or when you're not feeling or doing as well as you should be. I thought that was pretty interesting, so let's get into the next one. 250 BC, the creation of the term diabetes is credited to Apollonius of Memphis, which refers to a disease which drains patients of more fluid than they can consume. Now what they really did in 250 BC just made the term up. They actually made the term diabetes to identify this disease or illness that was happening to people since 1550 BC. This way they can identify what it is, and they can start figuring out solutions as to the best possible route to help heal these people or treat these people for the sickness. Because back then, during those times, if you got sick and you didn't have treatment right away, you could die. Because at that time, even though a lot of illnesses was treated with a lot of herbal remedies, there was not a lot of cures at the time to stop a lot of these illnesses or diseases once they set into your body. This is important because it shows you how far back that diabetes goes. It shows you how far back that this condition has been getting treated. And I think that's pretty awesome. 131 through 201 CE. A Greek physician, Galen of Pergamum, theorizes that diabetes is an affliction of the kidneys. After this period, diabetes is rarely mentioned. Again guys, this, like I said, this is before Christianity. This is before open heart surgery. This is before a lot of the medical advances that we know now was ever discovered. That this disease, these people at the time was so good at their gifts. They were so good at what they do that they saw this illness. They was pinpointing symptoms. They were pinpointing what was actually causing it. They were pinpointing the organs that it was afflicting. Like I said, this was 131 through 201 CE that this guy, Galen of Pergamum, theorizes that diabetes was afflicting your kidneys. Guys, this is a long time ago. Again, this is before Christ. I mean, this is just crazy because you know what? Like I said, I feel like there's not enough education out about diabetes right now. And even some of the education out, like I looked on the ADA website, and the earliest timeline that I saw in there went back to the early 1900s. And that's all the information I saw. This what I'm reading right now goes all the way back to 1550 BC. There's much more information that we're not being told that we can learn about diabetes. Even some of this ancient information that's available now, maybe we can learn it, maybe we could adapt it to ourselves to figure out how can we treat our diabetes in a more effective way. 1025, a Persian polymath called Avicenna publishes the Canon of Medicine in 1025, providing a detailed account on diabetes mellitus. The sweet urine of people with diabetes is described as is abnormal appetite, diabetic gangrene, and sexual dysfunction. Guys, again, the symptoms that they are talking about is the same symptoms that we go through today. Like I said, diabetes affects our kidneys. We urinate a lot, or sometimes we don't urinate at all. Our urination has a sweet aroma to it. All these symptoms and signs was being recorded back during this ancient time. You know, this was before you had to get a degree to be a doctor, before you had to get a degree to be a nurse. You know, these people back then learned their craft to the T, and they learned it from people who was good at their craft, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be able to notify these symptoms or these illnesses and actually write detailed charts or detailed documents about how these illnesses affect people. Up to the 11th century, around this period, uroscopy becomes a way of identifying disease, which involves examining the color, sediment, and odor of urine to try to establish what is wrong with the patient. Some physicians even taste the urine, and this is apparently how diabetes is given its second name, mellitus, meaning honey in Latin. Guys, these are ancient tests that are still being used in hospitals today. You know, there have been times when I'm working on the floor and my nurse told me that we needed a urine sample for a patient to run tests and see what's affecting his kidneys or what could be affecting his body as a whole, because sometimes a urine test is one of the most accurate, just like a DNA test or just like a hair sample, because this let us know what is going on inside your body. I mean, who else besides me didn't know that this was going on back before Christ? Because a lot of this stuff, they make it sound like that this was just discovered early in the 1900s, you know, recently, where this stuff was being documented, being tested way before your most famous doctors right now, way before your famous specialists right now. You know, this is why doing your own research is so important, because we can learn much more than what some of the top people right now could tell us, because they're not diving back this far in history. They're only going back to what the medical books may be telling them. And like I said, according to the ADA website, that's only to the early 1900s. Okay guys, this is going to be the last one right here that we cover. 1770 through 1800. Matthew Dobson identifies that the sweet taste in the urine of people with diabetes is due to excess sugar in the urine in the blood. He has also observed that diabetes is fatal for some, leading to death within 5 weeks, while others live much longer. This is the first indication of two different types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. John Rollo treats a patient using a high fat and protein diet, the first significant dietary approach to the treatment of diabetes. Guys, like I said, this stuff's been going on way longer than what your specialist, what your endocrinologist, or what your primary doctor is telling you right now. When they tell us about diabetes, you know, they make it seem like, oh, this was just discovered recently. You know, that's not the case. A lot of this information comes from ancient Egypt. A lot of this information comes from people who are doing all these tests by hand. That was not running it through machines. They were collecting some of these samples by hand, and probably some of the most unhygienic ways, and actually still coming up with the same results that these doctors and nurses do now by running it through machines. This is crazy, and again, this is why we should do our own research, because like I said, when most people learn the history of diabetes, they're not told that they actually go this far back. They only learn what their books tell them, or what their instructors tell them, or what the doctors tell them, because most people don't do their own research. They just listen to what someone else tells them and then take it for face value, and that's the last thing you should do. When you actually take time to learn about your condition, you are taking priority, you are taking responsibility of helping yourself heal or trying to defeat your condition so you can live the best life possible. As I always say, being diabetic don't mean you have to give up living. You don't. Like I said, I'm diabetic. You know, I've been struggling with high blood sugars, but I'm still out here living the best life possible. I'm not letting it stop me. I'm making better choices for my body, because my body don't want to eat certain foods, because when it does, it affects my body in a negative way. So I have to make myself make these changes so I don't get sick, so I can stay healthy as possible, so I can keep fighting. Because like I say, longevity is key to life. So keep living, guys. Don't give up. Don't feel defeated. Don't let it defeat you. You know, do your own research. See how can this information help you take care of yourself better. Okay guys, that's all I have today. Do me a favor and leave a like, a comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And let me say this, thank you to all the new subscribers who've been subscribing to my channel, because I swear a few days ago when I looked, I only had like 10 subscribers. Now it's 50 of you guys. That means 40 of you guys came out of nowhere in just a few days. I am so appreciative about that, because what I'm trying to do with this channel is build a community where we all can learn from each other. Maybe I'm saying something that doesn't make sense, or you may disagree with it, and you can leave a comment below, and that way we can discuss it in a mannerly fashion, because I can learn from you just as much as you can learn from me. So like I said guys, leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.